Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. आप सबका स्वागत है आज की कार्तिक इंस्पिरेशन क्लास में. Please join us for Jai Radha Madhav prayers. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvardhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvardhari, Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanchari, Yamuna Tira Vanchari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Once again, आप सबका स्वागत है, आप सबका अभिनंदन है. So today in the inspiration class, we will be covering a very important topic. What do pure devotees always meditate on? And we are referring to Srimad Bhagavad Gita's chapter 9, verse 13, where the greatness of a person is being identified. Hare Krishna. So please join us for the Mangalachan prayers for Bhagavad Gita. And again we will do the Guru Prati as well. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatadaham Vande Shigurum Dinataranam Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guruhu Shri Yutapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhavitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopeshe Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapte Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishbhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, dear devotees. So today we are studying Bhagavad Gita 9.13. Hare Krishna. So this is a Shravanam, this is a understanding. So the verse is Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakatim ashritaha bhajante ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O son of Pratha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. So who is giving this instruction? Lord Krishna Himself, Bhagwan Uvacha. So Lord is revealing that the great souls are under the protection of divine energy. So let's read the purport and it will become very clear. It's a very short purport. So in this verse, the description of Mahatma is clearly given. The first sign of the Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of material nature. And how is this affected? This is explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, at once becomes freed from the control of material nature. That is the qualification. One can become free from the control of material nature as soon as he surrenders his soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the preliminary formula. Being marginal potency, as soon as the living entity is freed from the control of the material nature, he is put under the guidance of the spiritual nature. The guidance of the spiritual nature is called Devi Prakriti, divine nature. So when one is promoted in that way, by surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one attains the stage of great soul Mahatma. The Mahatma does not divert his attention to anything outside Krishna because he knows perfectly well that Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes. There is no doubt about it. Such a Mahatma or great soul develops through association with other Mahatmas, pure devotees. Pure devotees are not even attracted by Krishna's other features, such as the four-armed Mahavishnu. They are simply attracted by the two-armed form of Krishna. They are not attracted by other features of Krishna, nor are they concerned with any form of a demigod or a human being. They meditate only upon Krishna in Krishna consciousness. They are always engaged in the unswerving service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. So here we heard some amazing instructions coming directly from Lord Krishna. So somebody could say, who is a great person? So share in the comment line, what do you think? Who is a great person? And in the meantime, we will be revisiting while I cover some amazing stories from the history, some stories from our lives, from our realizations, and some stories that we may have studied as children when we were in schools. So again, think of great persons. And one of the names that just shines out, which was close to 350 BC, around that time, there was a personality by the name Alexander. a Greek personality, Alexander the Great. Now, was he really great? So there are some amazing aspects that reveal how great he was. So once a thief was caught and he was brought in front of Alexander. And so at that time, Alexander was asking him, how should you be treated? He would ask, if you have made this offense, if you have committed some crime, how should you be treated? He has this tendency of asking this question. So now the thief, he said, I'm a small thief and you're a big thief. What do? You basically go as a dacoit and you try to win over kingdoms. So you're a big thief and I'm a small thief. So I should not be punished at all. I should rather be rewarded. And Alexander thought about it and he let go of that thief because there was some truth in the saying of this thief. Now later on we see as how he is moving from Persia all over to Egypt and then to the northwestern India. And there he happens to have a fight with Porus. And Porus, as they fought at that particular time, Porus was defeated and he was brought in front of Alexander. And Alexander asked the same question, how should you be treated? And Porus' response was, well, like a king treats another king. And Alexander liked this response. So some of the Persian historians, they talk about this, that he liked this response. Previously, he was actually proven a thief and he couldn't deny that. But this time, someone is glorifying him to be a king and he wanted to be great. So he was doing a lot of publicity, a lot of advertisement, how great he is. And now there is an opportunity for himself to be called great, to be called a king. So he, accept Porus as his friend in that particular perspective. While the glory was actually on the Porus side, that even though he was defeated, he was fearless and he was following. Now further as he comes to India, we all know that Chandragupta Maurya, he had a fight and Alexander was defeated instantly. Why would Chandragupta Maurya, a king who was actually brought to the position of a king by his spiritual master, we all know him, Chanakya, a great Vaishnava and a Brahman. So again, Vaishnava is automatically a Brahman because they are constantly engaged in devotional service. And even though Chandragupta Maurya had the palace to live in, and he was asking Chanakya, who was his prime minister, he was the main strategist for Chandragupta Maurya, to live in the palace. Chanakya, he never left his hut. He would always live in a hut, very humble setting, constantly engaging in devotional service. Now that's the greatness of the spiritual master, and because Chandragupta Maurya was following his spiritual master, he was able to win over even a personality like Alexander. And what happened? When Alexander was dying at that time, he called all kind of Vaidyas, all kind of doctors from all over the place, physicians, to say, just give me a little more time. And then one of the physicians said, even if you give us all the world in the gold, all the gold in the world, we cannot give you one more moment than what is destined to you. And that was the fact. And across Saryu, means again, this is across the Sindh River, he died being defeated by what? A mosquito, because he died of malaria. So here we can understand that even people who want to call themselves great cannot easily survive in this situation, because in reality the truth comes out. While Chandragupta Maurya, following his spiritual master's instruction, is easily able to overcome such a such a strong enemy. Now in this regard, many aspects come to our life. Today if we look at what's the kingdom of Alexander, it is said that it is even smaller than a normal city. And there is only a small airport and nobody really pays attention to this. So Alexander the Great is not great anymore. While truly Lord Krishna is revealing who is the great. And there are many Western personalities, who realize what greatness is. In this regard, Martin Luther King Jr., he has a very amazing saying. He said, not everyone can be famous, but everyone can be great by one's service. And he is saying nothing but what Lord Krishna is revealing, by one's service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that service simply starts with the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So sometimes people say, yes, one who is knowledgeable, he is great. But then how do you get knowledge? This is also revealed in Bhagavad Gita. Sarvasya chaham hridaya sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha Vedaischa sarve rahameva vedyo vedant kridveda vid eva chaham. So, here we see a response by Munna Sharma saying, one who is knowledgeable is great. But where does knowledge come from? So, Lord Krishna is revealing in the 15th chapter, the 15th verse, a lot of times Srila Prabhupada quoted this verse, that Sarvasya Chaham Hridaya Sannivishto. So, I am residing in the heart of every living entity. So, he is referring to Super Soul. As Super Soul, he is residing in our heart. Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. From me comes knowledge, remembrance, and even forgetfulness. And Vedaischa sarve rahameva vedya. I am the compiler of the Vedas, and I know the Vedas, and the purpose of the Vedas, he is also revealing the purpose of all knowledge is to know me. Now, of all the knowledge, what is the greatest knowledge? So that's also revealed in the 9th chapter in the beginning, which is the greatest secret. And here we are going to understand like how Lord is revealing this amazing personality, that what is that knowledge, that is the king of knowledge. Rajvidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyakshvavagmam Dharmam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. So the devotional service has been glorified, that this devotional service, this knowledge is the king of knowledge, the most secret, Rajguhyam, the most secret of all secrets. And Pavitram, it is the purest knowledge. And Pratyakshvavagmam Dharmam, so it gives direct perception of the self by realization. So it helps us realize what? That we are not this body, we are living entity, the eternal servant of the Lord. Jivera surupaya Krishnera Nityadas, Krishnera Tatashta Shakti, Bheda Bheda Prakash. So we are the marginal potency, Tatashta. Jo tat hota hai na, tat of a river means again, which is like the margin considered. So there is some land under water and then some land, above water. So Mahatmanas in this particular analogy are referred to ones who are above water, because water is considered in this particular example as material energy. Now, does that mean Mahatmas, they never fall down? They are always great? That's also not true. Sometimes there is a tendency to just say devotees never fall down. Yes, from material perspective, they may appear to fall down, but from spiritual perspective, they don't fall down because they are constantly meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We see the example of Parikshit Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam, where? Yes. So, did he not make a mistake? Is he always continuously making everything perfect? Is that what it is? Hare Krishna, Munna Sharma Prabhuji, he is watching from Sikkim. Welcome. Devi, would you like to invite some of the guests? Welcome.
Hare Krishna, dear viewers. Welcome everyone. We have some new names, new viewers joining today. Welcome everyone. Jiva Tattva Prabhuji is sharing the wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Who are the pure great souls called Mahatmas? Prabhuji, would you like to continue?
Sure. So again, I wanted to welcome some of the viewers. We have Samresh Ghosh, Sadiksha Mataji, Sima Mataji, Chandan Kumar, Samresh again, Shalja Mataji, Manisha Chauhan, Rajan Sarkar, and many other devotees who have joined us. Thank you very much for joining us today. Now, when it comes to Mahatma, the great soul, now we have to understand from this verse that Lord Krishna is saying, who is a great soul? That one who is constantly under the shelter of Devim Prakatim. And this Devim Prakatim is Lord's internal potency. So please in the comments write some of the names of the Mahatmas that you know from the scriptures, from your life. Who do you consider as Mahatma? And that way we can very well discuss about their life and make this one even more interactive. Hare Krishna. Now it's very interesting that Mahatmanas, Lord Krishna is saying that they are constantly engaged in service of the Lord. And even then, when there is an accidental fall down, knowing or unknowingly there is a fall down, then even then, Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma. So he is saying that they quickly re-establish themselves in their position. We see the example of Parikshit Maharaj, who just happened to be very thirsty, seeing that Shamik Rishi is not welcoming him, so he puts a dead snake on the, around the neck of this Shamik Rishi, and Shringi, when he sees his father being so insulted, curses that this king will die in 7 days. Now, Parikshit Maharaj, he could have easily taken care of that curse, but he's accepted it as Lord's desire, and so he took it as it is. We hear about Chitraketu. Chitraketu, he had only one son. By the mercy of Devashi Narad, the Agastya Muni, he got this son whose name was Harshashoka. So because he received this instruction that because he is the only son, he will also be the cause of his happiness as well as distress. And he said, yes, he will be my only son. So they will definitely, but his son was poisoned by his other queens. So the eldest queen, who was the mother, she was crying and he was crying. Yet at the same time, Devashi Narad, he reveals to him that this son was a living entity and he is on his journey. He has had many parents in his previous lives. So from that particular perspective, we hear how he is able to overcome by hearing proper instructions by a bona fide spiritual master. Now in this case, Devashi Narad, who is devotional service personified, he is able to overcome those situations. So we can see the characteristics of Mahatma from their behavior as how they are taking. Are they becoming defensive, or are they saying, oh, this is something I'm getting as a criticism, and this criticism can help me overcome some of the shortcomings. From Srila Prabhupada's life itself, we see many examples. So once he visited a doctor, and doctor said that you need to do exercise, and the best exercise at this age is walking. So he would go out walking every morning. And sometimes his disciples, who were young, 20, 25-year-old, young, strong boys, they would say it was very hard to keep up with pace with Srila Prabhupada, because practice makes a makes a man perfect, but it only makes the practice permanent. So here we understand from that perspective. He was practicing something good. Srila Prabhupada, again, we hear from the scriptures and also from the great acharyas like who was the Chanakya Muni himself. He said that when you are engaged in service, I'm forgetting the incident. So let me go to the next one. Hare Krishna. Sometimes it happens, so many thoughts are coming in your mind. So here, yes, Kunti Devi, the Pandavas, they were great personalities. Yes, Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj, even though he did not perform 100th yajna because Indra was taking away, he let go of the 100th yajna because that would be pleasing to the Lord. So again, that is also a very important example. Shukdev Goswami, he was giving the instructions, so he is preaching Parikshit Maharaj, and he attains perfection. He is great by his Kirtanam features. So again, by this service. Mahatma Vidur. Now Vidur, who is the uncle of Pandavas, is referred to as a Mahatma. And here we see, why is he called Mahatma? Because he received the instruction from Markandeya Rishi, Maitreya Muni, and then he provided those instructions to everyone he met. He actually shared that. So he was able to deliver Dhritarashtra, his elder brother, half brother, who was blind and was constantly acting as an enemy of Pandavas. And Vidur never considered anyone as his enemy. So this is why a Mahatma never considers as his enemy, and he is Suhridam Sarvadehinam. He is actually a best friend. Just like Lord Krishna says that he is the best friend of all living entities. A Mahatma is the best friend of all living entities, always acting in to benefit them. Hare Krishna. So, we also see that one who follows in the footsteps of Mahatma can attain the same perfection. And this is where the parampara comes in, the bona fide disciplic succession. So when one follows in the parampara, that is also a sign that one is following Mahatma. And by following Mahatma, one can become Mahatma because one will be constantly engaged in devotional service. So the criteria is devotional service. And that devotional service simply starts with having a firm faith and engaging in bhajana kriya. Right? So again, in the association of devotees. Atha shraddha tata sadhu sangha bhajana kriya. So what happens? The effect is anartha nivritti. All the anarthas, all the impurities, they fly away, they are drained away. And we get purified in our heart, mind, body and soul is completely purified. And so, to please Shishi Radha Damodar, and this is Kartik month, right? They're always here. We should always hear and chant the glories of the Lord. And in this manner we can understand. Now it is also very important to understand the attitude of a Mahatma. In this regard, I will very quickly share two small stories. So there were two sons, they were twins of a man, and this man had, one of the son had become very famous, one of the brother, one of the cousin, twin, and while the other one had completely become poverty stricken and in a very bad state. So the reporters always want to know why somebody has become very famous, right? So they go to this person and they say, how could you become so famous? How could you be so healthy and so nice? And he said, well, I saw my father, he was constantly drinking. And so I decided never to drink. And he was very careless, and because of that, so I decided, and this is where I am today. Well, they realized that actually he has a twin who is not so famous. So they approached his twin by saying, why are you in such a state? Right? And this one says that actually my father was drinking, so what could I do? I could only drink. I took that habit. I got this in my virasat, right? So this is the wrong attitude. The attitude should be that we should always be positive in our outlook. We should take lessons from everything around us. Yes. And so, by taking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by engaging in devotional service, under the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master, helps us attain perfection. This is the lesson that we are hearing today. Who is a Mahatma? One who is constantly engaged in devotional service. And in Western world, sometimes we hear some of the saints, they speak amazing instructions, and Saint Augustine has a similar instruction. Work as if everything depends on you, pray as if everything depends on God. So yes, we should always make our best effort to please the Lord, yet at the same time we should take shelter of the Lord and understand that everything that we are able to do is happening because of His mercy. And this Kartik month is a great opportunity for us to take to this attitude, a positive attitude, to understand that no matter what happens externally, we can always be situated in Krishna consciousness by taking shelter of Lord Shri Krishna, by taking shelter of the Devi Prakriti, the internal potency, Srimati Radharani, through the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. Om Tat Sat.